looks like a second plane.
A huge explosion now, raining debris on all of us. We better get out of the way!
September 11th. I should say to the American people that we're now a battlefield.
Citizens of the world, why do we question 9/11? We do so because despite having shaped both foreign and domestic policy in countries all over the world, there are literally hundreds of contradictions of the official version of what happened on that tragic day. These are the red flags of September 11th, 2001.
U.S. government continues to protect Saudi Arabia over possible involvement. Soon after the September 11th attacks, the U.S. government actively tried to minimize and suppress information relating to a possible role in the attacks by Saudi Arabia. Ultimately, the 9/11 Commission cleared Saudi Arabia of any role in the terrorist attacks, despite many anomalies, including the fact that 15 of the 19 hijackers were actually from Saudi Arabia. In December 2002, Congress released its Joint Intelligence Committee inquiry into the 9/11 terrorist attacks. When released, this document contained 28 pages of redacted information that allegedly pointed to foreign state sponsorship of the attacks, specifically Saudi Arabia. The 9/11 Commission report failed to ascertain the contents of the censored 28 pages of the report. Victims' family members asked President Bush why he refused to release this information and got no answer. Years earlier, in August 2002, victim family members publicly announced a $1 trillion lawsuit against alleged Saudi bankrollers of Osama bin Laden. This lawsuit has been stalled and defeated at every turn. In November 2002, the lawsuit became even bigger and costlier at $15 trillion, as more than 36 new defendants were added, including members of the Saudi royal family. Interestingly, 3 members of the Saudi royal family have since been given legal immunity from prosecution. Attorneys for the victims' families told the Staten Island Advance in 2006 that it could be, quote, another several years before the lawsuit goes to trial, unquote. In July of 2003, 9/11 Commissioner Max Cleland was interviewed by Frank Sesno of PBS. In that interview, he stated, quote, you can read between the lines and see that there were foreign governments that were much more involved in the 9/11 attack than just supporting Islamic fundamentalist teachings and schools. Now, that has been redacted, a whole 28-page section, unquote. The 2008 book, The Commission, by New York Times reporter Philip Sheenan, revealed that 9/11 Commission Executive Director Philip Zelikow blocked other 9/11 commissioners who were working on the Saudi connections from accessing the 28-page redacted section. In August 2003, an anonymous official told Republic magazine that the 28-page redacted section outlines, quote, connections between the hijacking plot and the very top levels of the Saudi royal family, unquote. In September of 2004, a month after the official close of the 9/11 Commission, Senator Bob Graham accused the White House of covering up the involvement of Saudi government officials in the 9/11 plot. Despite attempts by family members to get this information made public and promises from the Obama administration to do so, the redacted 28 pages of the Joint Intelligence Committee inquiry into 9/11 remain secret and are likely to remain so. In May of 2010, Supreme Court nominee Elena Kagan refused to give the victims' families' lawsuit a hearing. Her argument was that U.S. foreign policy would be interfered with if the lawsuit was allowed to go ahead. Secrecy continues to cloud the possible role of Saudi Arabia in the events of September 11th. Despite calls from members of Congress, victims' family members, and even one of the 9/11 commissioners to dig deeper into the role of Saudi Arabia, no such inquiry has yet to take place. Why would the U.S. government and the 9/11 Commission protect Saudi Arabia?
For more information and to read a transcript of this 9/11 red flag, and to hear other red flags like this one, visit visibility911.com/redflags.